right. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. I appreciate you guys watching my other two videos that I posted prior to this one. The intro and then the Yankee one that came out. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm going to do my next one now. And it's going to be about my favorite football team, the New York Football Giants. And so today's Monday, December 7th. So yesterday we finished off Week 13 of the NFL season. The Giants played the Seattle Seahawks, and they were presumably heavy underdogs in that game. And wow, I can't believe it. They pulled it off. The Daniel Jonesless Giants pulled it off and beat the Russell Wilson-led Seattle Seahawks. I cannot believe it. This is by far the biggest win of the season. The Giants are now 5-7. Obviously, it's not a good record at all still. But hey, they're in the garbage division that's called the NFC East. And where you have the Dallas Cowboys, who are absolutely piss poor this year, especially with Dak Prescott out for the entire season, as he tore his ACL early in the year against the Giants. You have the Philadelphia Eagles, who got blown out yesterday against Green Bay. Carson Wentz looking like hot garbage, as Rex Ryan said today on Get Up on ESPN. I saw a sneak peek of it. Not that I watch ESPN a lot, but I did. It was one of my YouTube suggestions, so I put it on. I was curious to see what it says. You know, it's entertaining stuff from the guys at ESPN, and especially Rex Ryan. But yeah, I mean, he said it well, that Carson Wentz played like hot garbage. And they brought in Jalen Hurts, the draft pick from this past year. And he didn't do too bad, and so we don't know who's going to be the quarterback there. But they have their own mess to deal with at 3-8-1. Their record is so and then it just leaves the Washington football team, and with Alex Smith, who's back, and you know, it's a miracle that he's even on the field playing after his horrific injury that he had 2 years ago, where he nearly lost his leg. And that is a miracle that he's back. Good for him. God bless him. But Washington, obviously, their defense is improving, and they've been winning a few games. They crushed the Cowboys on Thanksgiving 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I should say. And so today, Monday the 7th, they're playing the Steelers, who are undefeated, so they might lose that game, most likely. So that means the Giants would be 2 games in first place, since they have the tiebreaker over Washington, because they beat them twice. So with that said, the Giants are looking pretty good right now going through the rest of the season. I think that 7 wins will get them the division in this horrific division, the worst division in football. So I think 7-9 will win the division. So I think they have. So that means they'll probably have to win 2 of their next or last 4 games, I should say. They have Arizona coming up this Sunday. That, you know, Arizona's lost 4 straight games. So we'll see what happens there. Let me get my laptop there. 1 second. My laptop decided to shut off there. I just wanted to turn it back on. There we go. We're all set there. But anyway, yeah. So I think that the Giants should have to win 2 out of their last 4 games coming up. Get Arizona this week, and then this Sunday, and then you got either Baltimore or Cleveland, week 15 and 16. I don't know exactly which one, but they are playing week 15, 16, either Baltimore or Cleveland, but they're playing both. And then they verse Dallas at home the last week of the season, week 17, after Christmas. Or after the New Year, I should say. So, yeah, I think 7-9 is going to win this division. The Giants are in the driver's seat right now. They're about a 45% favorite to win and go to the playoffs and win the NFC East and host a home game, which is unbelievable considering how bad the division is, as I said before. But, yeah, but as a Giant fan, I'm happy right now. I mean, you beat Seattle in a game where they, with no Daniel Jones at quarterback, you haven't had Saquon all year, and you had Colt McCoy as the starting quarterback, who I don't know how many games off the top of my head he's won in his NFL career, but you could probably count it on one hand, to be honest. And the Giants pulled it away. They won 17-12, holding Seattle to 12 points. With that, their future Hall of Fame quarterback, who's my favorite player, that's not a Giant. Russell Wilson is truly it's a miracle. I can't believe they pulled it out. I was expecting them to get slaughtered. They didn't. They ended up winning this game. The defense looks vastly improved from last season. Last season they were ranked the 31st ranked defense out of 32. Second to last worst, second to last in defense last year, and now this year they pulled in the top 10. I'm looking at Pro Football Reference right now. It has them. They're ranked currently they have the 9th ranked defense. So 31-9 is a massive, massive improvement. Kudos to Patrick Graham, the defensive coordinator who they hired from Miami this past offseason. And also, I got to give respect to Joe Judge. I was questionable about the hire before the season. I didn't think that, the New England Patriots, he came from the Patriots. He was a special teams coach and a wide receivers coach with them. Usually a lot of assistant coaches that come from the Bill Belichick tree in New England don't really pan out, as we've seen with Romeo Crennel. You've seen with Eric Mangini when he coached the Jets and then the Browns later on. You saw it with Matt Patricia, who got fired just after Thanksgiving after getting blown out from the Texans. He got fired from the Lions. And then Josh McDaniels didn't work out in Denver about a decade ago. So a lot of these coaches don't tend to work out under the Belichick tree, so I was a little skeptical with him coming in, especially with an old-school military-type personality and the way he coaches. But, hey, the players are buying in. Beginning of the season, it was embarrassing. This team they started out 0-5. We ended up 1-7 at one point in this season, and now they pulled off 4 straight wins, and they're 5-7, and now they're in the driver's seat in the NFC East. So the players have bought in. They play hard under him. Ever since the embarrassment game against the 49ers, where the Giants lost 36-9 against backups of the San Francisco 49ers. They didn't have their There's Jimmy Garoppolo, their starting quarterback. They didn't have their starting running back, Raheem Mostert. They didn't have their number 1 receiver, Deebo Samuel. They didn't have George Kittle. They're in my opinion, the best tight end in football. They didn't have their a lot of their key defensive players. They didn't have, I don't know, I think Richard Sherman might have played. I don't even know if he played or not. But they didn't have D Ford. They didn't have Nick Bosa, who's the best defender on that team. So they've missed a lot of key pieces on this team. And I think they missed an offensive lineman too. So that was the embarrassment game this season. After that game, I literally almost gave up on this team. No joke. Because how do you lose to backups? 36-9 you lose to a team of backups. And you had your full roster there. I mean, it was terrible. Daniel Jones was awful at the beginning of the season. I ripped upon him to my buddy and everybody that knows me. I almost gave up on him. Granted, he's still not having a good season, but hey, he's improving every week outside of this week because he didn't even play because he got hurt the week prior. But the Giants, it looked bad. Like they were with the Jets, looking as the 2 worst teams in football after week 4, and it was bad. And then we lose to Dallas the week after that, and then we were 0-5. So it was like, wow, like the season's a wash. You might as well tank. Get a number 1 pick. Hey, even take Trevor Lawrence at one point. I was saying, hey, tank for Trevor. 0-5. I'm not stupid enough to, my opinion wasn't stupid enough, to at that time, because look what happened. Like they were 0-5, and they had them and the Jets were fighting for the number 1 pick of next year's draft. So tanking for Trevor wasn't out of the option at that time. But now it's looking silly, and I'm glad I'm wrong about that. And the Giants don't have to tank, and I want them to win. So it's working out really well at this point. As of now, the team's improving. Listen, I'm still not a Dave Gettleman guy, our general manager. I still don't think he should have the job. But a lot of his decisions so far, they've been improving. The head coach is everyone's buying into his system and his play and stuff and the way he is. A lot of the defensive players that Dave Gettleman paid for, Leonard Williams, who we re-signed for about $16 million, that we traded for last season from the Jets. Hey, man, he did great yesterday. I think he had 2 sacks on Russell Wilson. He has been great, and he's having his best year in his career since his rookie year with the Jets. So Leonard Williams has been it's been pretty good, that signing, that re-signing, I should say. And then you also have Logan Ryan. You have James Bradbury, who were signed in the offseason by Gettleman. Logan Ryan was a 1-year deal that came literally one of the last weeks before the regular season. And man, he has been big for us, filling that safety slot for because Xavier Kinney, our second-round rookie, got hurt during training camp, so he missed half the season so far. And Logan Ryan has fit in so well at free safety there. Him and Jabril Peppers at strong safety. And then, obviously, like I said, James Bradbury, we signed from Carolina. He has, for about, I thought it was a little bit of an overpay there with him. But, hey, man, he's been nails at that corner slot, shutting down the best receivers on each team. He did a pretty damn good job shutting down DK Metcalf of Seattle last week. So, kudos to him. But, yeah, Patrick Graham, man, he's getting this defense improving every single week, and they're looking legit. And everyone's could be like, oh, well, the Giants have never played a good offensive team yet. Well, here you go. Seattle was averaging 31 points per game prior to this game, and the Giants shut them down to only 12 points. Sacked Russell Wilson 5 times. And basically, I don't know if he committed a turnover, but there was a fumble, I think, that they recovered. There were 1 or 2 of them. But, yeah, they've been really impressing me, and it's been positive. If you're a Giant fan like myself, we're taking positive steps into competing and being, adequate, legitimate almost. We still got to get there. The offense still has to work. Daniel Jones still has to improve when he comes back and gets healthy. As of right now, Daniel Jones is about 15th in total QBR out of 32 quarterbacks. So yeah, he's been around average this year. And he's been improving every week. He's been improving. It's a lot better than he was the beginning of the season where he looked terrible. He wasn't terrible week 1 against Pittsburgh, and I got to cut him some slack because the Pittsburgh Steelers are the best defense in the league so far, and right now they're undefeated. They're 11-0. So with no preseason and not that much training camp with COVID. So it was a late start for everybody and a new coach. I will give Daniel Jones a pass for the week 1. He made a stupid decision late in the game when it was 1 possession. The Giants were down a touchdown, I think. He threw a pick just in the worst spot possible in the end zone, and that costed the Giants the game. But I'll give him a pass there. But week 2, Daniel Jones was horrible against Chicago. Didn't look good. The team only scored, I think, 14 points or 13, something like that. But, it was a 1-possession game. Defense played well, but Daniel Jones didn't. And then week 3, we versed the Rams, I think it was. Or we versed the Niners week 3. And then we versed the Rams week 4. But one of those weeks, it was week 3 and 4, we versed the Niners and then the Rams. Again, Daniel Jones looked brutal. So at that point, I'm like, okay, is this kid going to improve or is he getting worse? At the time, he was getting worse from his rookie year. Because the rookie year, he did show us some promise, Daniel Jones. 24 touchdown passes. Had a couple of rushing touchdowns, only 12 picks. He had the fumbles he had to clean up. Beginning of the season, he was fumbling a little bit, throwing some picks. But since the Giants been on this winning streak, Daniel Jones hasn't really turned the ball over. And that's what you do. That's what happens in the NFL too. You play good defense, your quarterback play. If you're average, as long as you're not turning the ball over, you can win games. And the Giants are doing that so far. And Daniel Jones has been improving since the bad, really, really bad first month that he had. So hopefully when he gets back and he's healthy, this team can improve and the Giants can go on this a little bit of a run. And, if they can win this division, which is possible now, they're not going to be a team to what's a good word to say? To joke around about. I would tread lightly on the Giants going into the playoffs. Definitely. So that's that. Like I said, big win yesterday against the Seahawks. I cannot believe they won that game. If the Giants do win the division, yesterday's game is the reason why. And I think that game could legit be a turning point in this season if the Giants actually can win the division and go on a decent playoff run, which isn't possible as we've seen with former Giant other Giant teams. Giants have never been like this. They've never had this dominant team until the last time they've had a dominant team was the '86 Giants, where they went 14-2, won the Super Bowl, crushed through everybody in the playoffs. Lawrence Taylor won MVP as a linebacker, and he's obviously by far the best defensive player to ever play the game. But ever since the Giants are not really they don't really have these dominant teams. They always find a way to just get in the playoffs, even with Eli Manning and all those teams. They get hot at the right time, and they could take down the best teams, in the league that year. or sometimes most of the time the best quarterback and coach ever in Brady and Belichick, like they've had in the last two Super Bowls that they won. So, I'm wishful thinking right now, and I'm dreaming, obviously. But let me please be. It's before this last month of the season. It's been rough. It has been rough as being a Giant fan. The last 3 years, we've had the worst record in the NFL. So we were looking like a laughingstock at one point. Yes, sorry about that, guys. Sorry that video cut off a little short there. I just had a phone call I had to take. So, but anyways, like I said, so yeah, like us Giant fans, we really don't get to see that. We haven't been able to enjoy a win like this in a really long time. And even if the division's this bad and we're going 5-7 and we have a chance to win it, which we could, just let us have this moment. I mean, let us soak this in and like enjoy it if it does happen. Again, we have to win 2 of the next 4. I think that's possible. We should be able to win 2 of the next 4. I think that they should be able to win this division. But again, it's the NFL. It's 2020. Who knows what happens? But anyways, yeah, that's my take on the Giants. I appreciate you guys watching this. I will post this hopefully tonight. I can get this uploaded, and then I'll make the Jets video right after this, and then I'll talk about what happened yesterday with the Jets, because hey, outside of the Giants and that game and the Giants-Seahawks game, it was an entertaining as hell football Sunday, and the Jets-Raiders game, that was a crazy ass ending. So I'll have my take on that in my next video that I'll make about the Jets and their season and what their plan should be going forward and how they're going to get the number 1 pick and how they're winless. So I'll talk about that in my next video. Hopefully I'll post that a couple of days down the line from this one, just so you guys have enough time to be able to watch this if you guys don't have a chance to watch it as soon as I release this. So that's why I'll wait a little longer. I'll prolong my Jet video. And, I hope you guys keep watching, and I appreciate you guys supporting me and following this, giving this video a like, and please subscribe, because like I said before, it means the world, and I appreciate you guys a lot for watching me, and because I enjoy doing this, and it feels good when people appreciate what you do. So thank you again. That's my take on the Giants in this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.